make it so easy for me when this is what I'm paying attention to, my alignment.
How am I trending? Upper half of the chart or lower half of the chart? If you'll start saying that whenever you are aware that you're having an emotion, or whenever you are aware that you're reacting to a situation that you are now having an emotion about, if you'll just say upper half of the scale or bottom half of the scale, 8-7 up or 8-9 down, what's the emotion that I've been trending? Once you answer that question to yourself, you'll understand why it was a little harder than it needed to be, or why it was as easy, or why it wasn't as much fun, or why it was more fun. In other words, just thinking about how you've been trending. You see, nothing just all of a sudden manifests. Everything, the wanted things and the unwanted things, were trending quite a long time before they burst out onto the scene where you could see and hear and smell and taste and touch them. So we've been saying to all of you for a long time, there's two ways to know how you're doing with your creations. One is wait for them to manifest. That's post-manifestational awareness. Or pay attention to how you feel. That's pre-manifestational awareness. So today we're using new words. How am I trending? It's not a surprise that I'm not getting along with this person because I haven't liked this person for a long, long time. Well, is it logical that if you've been finding fault with somebody for a long, long time, that all of a sudden you're just going to stop doing that? You have to practice your list of positive aspects. You have to practice what you keep active in you. There are so many stories of that person just doesn't really like me, and I really just don't like that person. And we say, you've been trending in that direction for a long time. You're not just going to snap your fingers and feel differently. Enough?
Well, not quite. I just want to, that was one topic. And then just any other advice that you have for me. Like I said, I feel like I'm doing well in most of my life, other than that one aspect that's come up.
And we agree.
Yeah. So any other thing you could say or you want to tell me, since I'm right here?
You're doing really well. Take it easy. We have some phrases that we say, don't let people get your goat. Don't let them yank your chain. Don't let them push your button. And one of Esther's dear friends says that her grandmother always said, keep your goat in the backyard so nobody can get it. So it's sort of like that. Or if somebody gets in the backyard and gets your goat, just laugh about it because they'll bring it right back. There's nothing serious going on. There's nothing serious going on. You are source energy who came into this physical body knowing that there was a lot of variety to choose from and knowing that there would be contrast. And you knew that from that contrast that you would choose, decide, and then calibrate to your decisions. What you didn't remember is that you did not say, I'll go forth and I'll calibrate, and then everybody else will line up in response to my calibration. That's what messes with the minds of so many deliberate creators. It's like, Abraham, it's not working. I lined up, I felt good, I went where they were, and then I didn't feel good, so it must be their fault. We say, well, they were just part of the massive opportunities to give your attention. In other words, you're the one that gets to focus wherever you focus. But you know, the more you care about feeling good, and the more you do feel good deliberately, and the more you feel good when it's easy to feel good, then the easier it is to feel good when it's not so easy to feel good. Until before you know it, you just feel good most of the time. Esther said yesterday, walking around Ketchikan, she said, I'm almost manic. I'm so happy. She could just feel, she could barely contain. She's talking to strangers. A man came by the table where she was eating her fish and chips, and he said to the girls at the table, what are you eating? And they said, fish tacos. And Esther said, get the fish and chips. And he said, what are you eating? And fish tacos. This one is salmon and this one is halibut. And Esther said, get the fish and chips, get the fish and chips, get the fish and chips. These are the best fish and chips that I've ever eaten in my life. Do you want a bite? Do you want a bite of my fish and chips? She meant it. He said, I get in trouble with my wife when I eat off other people's plates. And Esther said, well, I wasn't going to let you just bite on it. I was going to break a piece off to you. And then when you came back with yours, I was going to get my bite back because these are really good fish and chips. In other words, you want to feel in love with life like that, but you don't always. Sometimes there's just a convergence of the perfect storm of happiness, the perfect day, all kinds of lovely memories, sitting across a table from lovely people, sitting there with your sister who you love more than life. The weather feels good. You're back doing what you love doing. In other words, the convergence of everything. Esther could not contain herself. And she might say, maybe like your boyfriend, I want to always feel this way, but she's not going to always feel like that. People would lock her up if she was running around with that kind of zestful love for life in every moment. In other words, you're adapting to situations, you're sizing things up, you're doing the best you can from where you are, you're making the best decisions from where you are. Everything's flowing along, but the most important thing is the big picture is working out for you. It's working out for you. And for everyone else, it's working out for you and for everyone else.
Yeah.
And I think that the gap for me is that trust. Trusting that the message that I am feeling is the message.
Well, we can talk to you, and we do, so many of you, at length about your worthiness and about the laws of the universe and about how it all fits together, and you can receive it intellectually.
Yeah.
In other words, a lot of it makes sense. Some of it you want to believe. But until you actually have your own experiences with it, it's just so many words, really.
Yeah.
We're never asking anyone to just trust us. What we're doing is laying out the laws of the universe as we know them to be, and helping you to focus and therefore activate within yourself enough expectation that as things unfold for you, then you gain that certainty. Anyone that says you have to have faith, we get why someone wants you to have trust or faith. But what we want you to do is to be a deliberate creator where you show yourself. You know the difference between confusion and clarity, yes?
Yes.
You know the difference between frustration and love.
Yes.
So you know the difference between connection and less connection.
Yeah.
So it's not different from that. If there's something that you want to know, the way we've been describing it most effectively, the way it's been received more readily by more people, which makes us know that the process is effective for us to offer, is when we talk about the emotional scale with all of its 22 points on it, and with appreciation being at number 1 and depression being at number 22 and some of everything else in between. And we divide the scale in half vibrationally. It's not in half the way it works out with the numbers, because up around number 8 is letting go, it's boredom, and number 7 is contentment. And right in that crack right there is a tipping point where instead of it getting more and more and more resistance, it gets more and more and more allowing. That's where the fulcrum is. It's where it tips.
Yeah.
So when you are approaching whatever question you have or whatever insight you're looking for, but you have made sure to be, before you sit to figure it out, you've made sure to be on the upper half of the emotional scale. Then when it clicks into place, you recognize it, you know it, and then the whale shows up.
Yes.
Or whatever it is, the manifestation comes as further amplification and manifestational evidence for you. And anything less than you doing that with all of that is just not enough. We don't want you to use us as your guidance.
Yeah.
We want to tell you how it works, and we want you to believe us enough to put it to the test in your own experience.
Yeah. I feel that.
We're going to put it to you in a sort of blunt way.
Yeah.
It's not unusual to be a person who trends toward insecurity rather than who trends toward security, because you've been surrounded by so many insecure people in your world who are not capable. It's not because they don't want to. They can't see you as worthy because they don't feel worthy. So without meaning to, most humans have calibrated to other humans who have calibrated to other humans who are on the bottom half of the emotional scale. So that's why you don't trust yourself readily. Little kids do.
Yeah.
You talk them out of that real fast. Most adults. What do you think you're doing? I'm okay. No, you're not. No, I'm really okay. No, you're not. I'm older. I'm wiser. I'm more afraid, and you should be too.